everybody. I'm super excited. It is another dope episode of Through Thick and Thin, the podcast. It's your girl, Kellz. I'm back in the building. I'm always excited when I get to be in a room with somebody who gives me energy. I smile, I light up when I see them. I understand the grind. I understand the hustle. I understand the vibration that you put in the world. A fellow podcaster, a fellow influencer, a fellow world traveler, a fellow girl's girl, right? She's no stranger to the internet. She's no stranger to YouTube. She's no stranger to people. And y'all know her. We love her. I want y'all to make some noise for the one and only KIKI. But no, not only just KIKI, Kiara. KIKI said so. Alexandria. Yeah!
Hey, you guys.
Hey! KIKI, do you love me?
I do.
Are we riding? Said you never ever. That's never going to get old.
It's not, and I still don't know the dance.
But you don't have to. You just know that you're KIKI and that your name took off and everybody was going crazy, right?
I used to love being in the club, throwing my hands up.
Yeah, but then all of us was doing it, so they didn't even know that it was your name.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they didn't know it was
But it was still fun. It felt like it was my own personal song.
I know. I felt like that when they was like, I got a Keisha, Kelly, Sharonda. I'm like, he said Kelly. Shout out to him. What's up? You look fly.
Thank you.
I started off by telling her that I absolutely was about to wear an Aaliyah shirt.
Really? And I almost thought about wearing my Beyonce shirt.
Because great minds think alike. And I was just trying to like feel the vibe. Like you give me Renaissance. You give me
I love the
demure. You give me very mindful. That's what you give me. And you know that's the vibe that you want to have, correct?
Yes, I try so hard to be that way. I mean, every day is not a good day, and sometimes you're going to get a whole something else that's not demure or mindful. Got me messed up. But I'm just working on being my best self every day. That's all we can do.
And what is that? What does that look like, working on you being your best self? Because first of all, we have to let them know that you have a #1 trending podcast that is definitely a little risque to say the least. Cocktales Podcast. This is one half of Cocktales Podcast, but it's so good. It's so.
Thank you.
It's so. I mean, it just keeps you captivated. But it's definitely what most people would probably say risque, and I love it. What's your thoughts? Like, what was your thought process when you started the podcast?
Well, I was actually telling one of your producers, he used to live in a building that a man I used to date, he lived there. And after that situation fizzled out, it's always a man, right?
It's always a man.
I already went to school for broadcast journalism. I'm a graduate of Howard University.
Let's go, Howard. HBCU grads are in the building.
And so I got my degree there. I did all of the things that I thought I was supposed to do. And my radio career was not taking off. And so I was working at a radio station. Well, I say working. I was not a slave, a volunteer is what they call it, like an intern. And I'm just trying to get on. I've already done these things. It's like, why am I going back? But I got a passion. I have a story. I have these things. And then I started thinking about it. A lot of radio, you don't really get to show too much of your personality. It's very limited. You have these short talk breaks. I was like, I don't really care about any of this. I didn't want to be a news reporter because I wanted to give my opinions.
Yeah.
And somebody put me onto podcasts.
Yeah.
Couldn't decide on the subject matter.
Okay.
And then that man had me messed up.
He got us messed up.
Yes, and had me cutting up and doing things.
Is he still in the apartment?
No, he moved on to something even better, which just boils my blood.
I hate it when they just do better. You want them to fail, unfortunately, but you know God did.
It was a lesson I needed. And you know what? At this point in my life, I'm thankful to all of the men who did me wrong because they helped me create Cocktales.
Come on.
So I just wanted to make fun of the things. I was tired of crying about it. I was tired of saying, why is this happening to me? Or when is it going to be my turn? No, let's find the funny in it and the lesson. But once you feel good about something and you've moved on from it, it's not so hard to talk about.
Healing.
And that was going to force me into it and force me to have to deal with other people's opinions. And I just decided to do it. And so Medina wasn't even here yet. She had moved to Miami or Dallas or somewhere. She was somewhere else.
Okay.
That wasn't working out and she was coming back. And I said, well, you know what? These co-hosts I got, they not working out either. Come on, girl. And we went to high school together. So
did you know she was already interested in being in the, I guess, film, podcast type industry?
So she was doing a podcast in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
With another group. And then
they weren't working. Ooh, I love it.
And that podcast is gone.
Brought y'all together.
Yeah, it did. Drama and being high school friends and staying in touch. So that's how I came into it. And then being my best self is doing what I say I'm going to do, making sure I'm staying true to myself and being okay with, hey, maybe you felt this way 5 years ago. You don't feel that way anymore. And you don't have to hold on to that. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to speak up. Don't just keep going with stuff and letting other people tell you who you are, because that's what they're used to.
It's so crazy because you're onto something, because today that has been the vibe in the room. Yes, I agreed back then when I didn't know better. Now that I know more, I changed my opinion. I'm sorry I don't feel that way, or I'm sorry I felt that way. And, and it's okay. Yeah. And you grow and you evolve. And then you build, and then you look up and you have this booming podcast off of you simply saying, I have grown. Yeah.
Or I'm still growing, because I was still a little, still making mistakes in the beginning. But now that I'm older and wiser, I started that podcast, the idea came to me in 2015.
Okay.
So that's, and
you've been at this since 2015.
Yes. The first episode came out in 2016. This week we'll release episode 412. I think yours is 415.
Come on. So, yeah, I did want to throw that was just on our podcast, and we had a good old time. We went over time because I was kicking it. We were having so much fun. The way I love the structure. I know I had a good time because I came back and told my team. The structure was fire. The energy was fire. I love the setup of making the cocktails and we actually drinking it. But even the dialogue and the questions and the way that it brought it all together. It's perfect. So kudos to you. Come on. What is this? 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a long time.
But it's worth it.
It is. And, people talk about starting podcasts all the time. And I always tell people to do it no matter how many podcasts there are. The reality is a lot of people get discouraged and a lot of people are going to quit. It's especially in today's time, like it's almost a requirement to start with video. And that's not cheap. The cameras aren't cheap. The people aren't cheap. And I'm kind of can I cuss?
You can cuss and we'll bleep it.
Okay. I'm a fuck it, I'll do it myself kind of person. Yeah. Because if I can't afford it, that doesn't mean no. That means I need to learn it and I'm going to have to do it until I can pay somebody. Because I'm also not going to try to be like, oh, can you do this for free all the time? People got bills just like me. And I like to pay them, so I will just learn another skill. I will do those things. And so I was lugging camera equipment in and out of the studio for a while until we could pay somebody to do it. And I still edit the show. And it's a money
saver. You still edit yourself?
And it's a money saver, one, which is very important, but I also enjoy it. Yeah. Like, I enjoy the editing. I did go to school for a lot of this stuff, so it's not like I'm just only on YouTube University. I'm passionate about it. I care about it.
Only YouTube University is a thing. I'm going to do my eyebrows on YouTube University.
I mean, YouTube University is a great school. Yeah. It's a great resource. It was a lot cheaper than Howard.
It was a lot cheaper than Howard.
Yes, it was a lot cheaper, but not the same. So, I mean, I don't want to discourage anybody from going and getting a formal education. But if you can't do it right now, don't let that stop you. You got to keep finding other ways to do it. Be resourceful. See what you can learn to do yourself.
So you're being resourceful. And I mean, obviously, you're telling me, I didn't even know you had this many layers. When I say the layers, I'm talking about the layers of the being self-sufficient. That is big because this is a dominated field where people are bidding and betting to edit and do all those things. You said, I can do it myself. Have you always had like support from everybody, or did you receive pushback?
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Even to this day, people kind of act like the podcast work that I do is not a real job or career.
Do they?
Yes, to this day. And
who are these people? Say their name.
Some of them is my family, to be honest. Like, my dad was just here for my birthday over the weekend, and he kept asking me about my job. So I do still do some remote work for a broadcast company. They have stations here and a couple other major cities in the U.S. But I'm like, I don't make as much from that job as I do with all of the other things that I do that are all connected to podcasting. I am starting a new show with another company, and so I'm producer and a host of that. And so that's another
Congratulations. Can we talk about it? Or
no, not yet. I have to come back to talk about it.
come back and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, congratulations, love.
Thank you. And then I've just been connecting with other people. I don't always tell people that I consult with other people. It's more of a word of mouth thing, but that's another source of income. I wrote a cookbook. I do all of these things. I chase my passions.
You travel.
I travel. I'm hosting a trip. Yeah. So KIKI's Travel Tribe. This will be my first trip.
KIKI's Travel Tribe.
Yeah. I found that like sometimes planning a group trip is hard, right? You know, the friends drop off and then maybe you're going with people and you don't really like the kind of trip that they're going on. I just wanted to plan a trip where the people who are coming don't have to worry about it. And you can come and you travel like me. I like to eat good. I like to relax. I want to go out every now and then. And I don't want to stress somebody out if they don't want to do an excursion. You don't need a jam-packed itinerary, but I do want to have things available. So I went on several other group trips with other people. I wasn't hosting any of them. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. Why not?
No, listen, I go with a travel group and I love them dearly. They're a more mature travel group. They're from New York. They're all Brooklyn, Queens, Harlem, and they love me. I am their girl. But every time I'm on this trip, I'm like, I am the trip.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying? though?
Yeah.
Because
you bring the vibes. Even though
I do comedy, even I'm with these people 4 or 5 days. When I'm in the pool with them, I'm kicking out. I'm doing my own trip. You have to. Yeah. And it's going to start, even if it starts with 5, it'll go to 25, then it'll go to 100. And then before you know, you have thousands of women that just want to travel the world to just relax, to just be with you because you created that energy. I think that's brilliant. Yeah.
I went on a trip in December. We went to Hedonism. Have you heard of Hedonism?
I have. Tell the people if they don't know.
Okay, if y'all don't know, hedonism is this sinful, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is this sinful playground in Jamaica. And it is, it's a lifestyle resort. If you don't know what that is, it's like people be swinging and like doing grown people things all over the place. And how Stella got her groove back in that movie, like that.
Were you a unicorn?
No.
You didn't? Oh, you didn't pop out?
No, I went with a man.
Oh, okay. Because if you don't go with a man, you are a.
I was gonna be scared.
If you don't go, if you're a single woman and you don't go with a man, you are called a unicorn.
Yeah, and I was like,
Why do I know about this? I don't know. It just popped in my head.
You just learn a lot. You're very educated. You're very smart.
Thank you. Yeah.
You did just leave Cocktales. Maybe we taught you.
Maybe I think Cocktales rubbed off on me. Whatever you put in the drink.
But yeah, so we go on this trip, and so they had paid Medina and I to promote it on Cocktales. And now I had never been. I knew what it was, and she knew what it was. Now we had very different experiences. I had fun.
Absolutely.
I didn't eat good though on that trip.
In Jamaica?
Well, it was at the resort, but I don't think nobody there was really worried about eating food.
They didn't even have no appetite, baby.
They had appetites for something else. And I was just like, I really wanted some good jerk chicken while I was here. I was very distraught.
The men were jerk. The men were spicy.
I guess so. Well, some of them were spicy and some of them were unseasoned. So the group that I went was very seasoned. That was definitely jerk or brown stew chicken or something.
Come on, curry.
And that group is thousands of people. And they travel the world and they do all this stuff. And they really have like a sense of community. So that was nice. And then there were the other people that were there. You will see a lot. If you ever have an opportunity to go, I say try it, but don't stay too long.
Don't stay too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
going to be tired.
But I think we got sidetracked because we can. What did your dad say? How did he?
Oh, I done forgot all about that.
I got it too, so it works.
Okay.
Trust me, you're safe. This is a safe place for ADHD. Shout out to everybody who have it. Even if you have not been diagnosed. Have you been diagnosed? Oh, see, I haven't. I went on Google and I have all the symptoms. So we are.
I wanted some medication, but then they were like, you're going to have to keep paying out of pocket for these visits. And I'm like, now hold up.
I am good.
You already said I got the thing. Come on, write the script. Anyways, my dad. So he comes to visit for my birthday.
You are funny.
Thank you. People always say I'm at my funniest when I'm being serious, and this is me serious.
I know, and that's what makes it so funny to me. Okay,
so Dad comes for my birthday.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me he was coming. He casually mentioned that he might. He's literally never been to visit me in Atlanta. I've lived here since 2011. That's how long I've been here. So I didn't really think anything of it. Something told me to hit him up. He was like, oh, yeah, me and your sister are coming.
Cool.
No,
that's why, cool.
All right. And then something said a few days before he gets here, where y'all staying at? With me. All right. So I got to get my mind right. I didn't really have enough time. Anyway, while he's here pestering me about going to his favorite restaurants for my birthday, which are not the same.
Okay.
How's work? How's your commute? I said, Daddy, what are you talking about? You talking about when I go to the studio? It sucks. It's far, but I'm not even going back until Saturday. We don't record every day. It's not like I have a regular commute. No, at your job. I said, well, that is a job. What are you talking about? You're going to have to be more specific. I got about 11 jobs. What's going on?
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it's clicking. You're talking about the radio station. That's the only thing that you classify as work. Nothing else that I do is work. If I'm at home on the computer like I was while he was here, it's like because you don't see me in an office or in a cubicle, it's just not registering as work. And I don't know if he'll ever get it. Now, my mom, on the other hand, she was just kind of like, this little thing you do. I don't think she got it. Yeah. But she gets it now. Mm-hmm. Oh, she has been at the shows. Yeah. She has helped. She is very supportive now. And she's like, I didn't really understand what it was she was doing. But now that I get it, she gets it and she's supportive. My dad, he wants to come on the show. And I don't know if
does he even know, does he know the...
I told him vaguely what it's about. And I told him he can't come. During the pandemic, when times were different and we didn't know if we were going to make it through the end of the year or not, I did a bonus episode with him, and the whole
fun.
It was virtual, and it only went on our Patreon.
Yeah,
y'all, the whole time he changing his backgrounds and
in the
trying
Zoom?
in the Zoom and trying to make sure he got his right angles.
He's enjoying this world that he's trying to make oblivious to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know. And he wants to come back on. And I'm just like, Daddy, this is not a match. And I'm not talking to you about sex. I also did an episode with my mom.
Did you talk to her about sex?
Yes, I did. And we both got drunk. That one was on Zoom, too. That was a wild year. We did part of that, I had to cut it out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you're going to be mad when you see this if it's all over the internet, but I am not throwing it away. We were talking about her toy collection, and she went to the closet and pulled it out. So I said, okay, we're going to cut this. This is Patreon.
Oh, yeah, people.
But my mom was having fun. She was drinking her rum. My dad was so serious. It was very different night and day.
Are your mom and dad still together?
Mm-mm. Okay. I don't even think by the time I made it to the world, I think they was already done.
Yeah, I think they probably already like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and go our separate ways.
Mm-hmm. My mom remarried, and they're divorced. Well, I don't know what they got going on, but I mind my business like I like people to mind their business when it comes to me. I'd be like, hey, I got a special friend.
And that's it. Oh, so speaking of special friend, so you're single?
Uh-huh.
Is it? Are you dating though?
Kind of.
How hard is it to, when you in this industry, right? And we're in the industry of people. How hard do you find it, like, people want to be exclusive with you, or do you find like they want to play because they don't think you're serious?
Both of them. And I am just like a bird. I want to fly away. Sometimes I can't be tamed. I don't know. I start getting really weird.
Butterfly.
Yeah, I just want to float away. Like, I don't mind commitment and attachment, but sometimes when it starts to feel like you want to take away parts of me or me to dim my light in certain places, I don't like that.
That's good. Mm-hmm. That's good. You have to keep that, because that will ruin you, not even in our lives, in anyone's life.
Yeah.
We know that this industry is very demanding. So for you to take away the thing that makes you stand out, it will be ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or making things about them. On, like if I'm telling a story and now I ask you not to watch the show. Well, I know you're going to be mad. You're not going to get the jokes. I got a dark sense of humor sometimes, very sarcastic. Your feelings might be hurt. So let's avoid that. And now we're having to have arguments about that. That can be frustrating.
I don't want to be around nobody whose feelings going to be hurt about something I said on the podcast.
Yeah, but I will say sometimes I am wrong. Sometimes I do take it too far. So it's like we can talk about it, and it's like, yeah, I was being a bitch for no reason. Or
on
like
the podcast? Or okay.
And it's like, I didn't have to go that far. I went too far with that joke. I think I was hangry, or maybe it was about to be on my period. I don't know. So it has made me more aware about how the things that I say, even though I know it's for entertainment, to a certain degree, I try to respect people as best I can without totally getting rid of me talking about my life. And that's a difficult thing to do.
So you ever had a moment where you had to be like a powerful moment where you had to stand on somebody for your position of what you got going on and who you are? Like, is there a certain person or a certain group of people that you like, this is what I'm doing no matter what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it with several people, and either they got with the program or they left. And, you know, when it comes to my love life, because it's fun to talk about sex for me, right?
Yeah.
Now
What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay, I'm a Scorpio. So tell me about Virgos.
I mean, I don't really know. I know that a lot of people don't like us, and they talk really bad about us on the internet. They say we're perfectionists. They say that we're kind of mean. Beyonce is a Virgo. I take the good things. We are hard workers. We are dedicated. Okay. We like to look things up. Some people say we can't be wrong. I just want facts if we're talking facts. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just personally not going to even talk about some shit I don't know.
Well,
you hear me?
That's always a great choice.
That's a great choice, because why would I go in this debate and I don't even know the whole facts? I'm going to sit here looking stupid.
Exactly.
And that's also, and I got to apologize.
Yeah. Or just stand on it and continue looking stupid, and that's just silly.
So what I'll do is just nod my head.
Yeah. So on the show, I like talking about sex, and I've never really liked talking about anybody that I really, really liked and cared about. That's something I've always wanted to keep for me. The sex part, that's fun. And I can make fun of those situations. I can make fun of these experiences. That's okay. But I'm going to be sensitive to what other people have to say about the person that I do care about, no matter what I say. I can talk about him. You can't. You don't even know him. You don't know who it is. Mm-hmm. And it's not about keeping the person a secret, but sometimes it's just those intimate moments. Because I'm literally talking about who was in holes in my body. Yeah. I would like to keep something for me. And for me, those feelings are more real than other things. And so there's been times where I told them before I even found somebody that I really like when the day comes. Yeah. I'm not talking to y'all about that. And I had to remind them the other day. I think y'all thought I was playing about that. Y'all keep asking me these same old questions, but I meant that. I'm not talking about that. So, I was like,
standing on business.
Mm-hmm. And then I was like, when it comes to sex, I also honestly took a break. I know that may be wild for y'all to believe. And it's like,
I looked at you too, like, mm-hmm. And how long was this break?
I'm just kind of coming out of it. It started after hedonism. I don't know. It was just too much sin around me. I came back a little depressed. And so, really? It wasn't just hedonism. Yeah. It was other things. But it was just all around that time. After that, I was just kind of turned off from sex for a while. Okay. And I was like, I also don't want to do it just because no means no. And I'm going to say it. Yeah. And I know that I can make bad decisions when I am feeling like that. And luckily I had somebody who could respect those wishes and consider my feelings and not press the issue so much, because he understood that, hey, you are going through something right now, and that's okay.
You're growing.
Yeah. Everything isn't about sex, and it's like, I don't want to have casual sex for the rest of my life. Y'all aren't listening to stories from when I was 25 and wild. I was drunk half of the time. Yeah. So come on, I'm going to make better decisions as I get older.
Knowing that, mm-hmm. and you have the Cocktales podcast, how do you evolve? Where does that, because now that's a decision that you have to think about. Mm-hmm. Since I have this Cocktales podcast, that the foundation has been that. Mm-hmm. Where do I take them? Where do we go? How do you shift? Are you in a process of even planning for that? And even
so, that's been a discussion. Yeah. Because both of us are in very different places in our lives, and we're changing, but we're not changing into the same person. We've never been the same person, so that's natural. But we're discussing our goals, and it's like, okay, well, let's really think about these things and write out what we want to do, what we're not okay with doing, and figure that out. Because as we grow and continue to share, I've noticed people do not care that I said I was depressed and that I was going through something. They still want to hear these stories. We will lose listeners. People don't want to hear Medina in a relationship.
I know. And that she wants to be married, mm-hmm. right? Because that's the thing. Mm-hmm. You're like, no, we want y'all buck wild, peep popping on the handstand, talking about it. You're like, no, baby.
And I get it. And if I was still doing that, I wouldn't have a problem talking about it. But I'm like, y'all, I really don't be having sex a lot. I had sex probably once this month, and I don't know the time before that. It's been pretty spaced out, and it just hasn't been at the forefront of my mind. I've been focused on other things.
What's at the forefront of your mind right now?
Work. Yeah. I got dreams to chase.
Come on.
And I feel like this summer, I was coming out of this depression, and I was doing a lot of praying and thinking, and I wanted to shift my mindset out of that sad, negative space and be more grateful, and also speak up for myself about different things that I want to do, opportunities that I want. It's it's easy to fall into the trap of looking at social media, looking at other people, seeing all the opportunities.
And thinking that it's opportunities, and you really are on the other side of it. And you're like, nah, we know.
Mm-hmm.
They're faking.
There's
They're
that.
lying.
Or it is an opportunity, but who knew you even wanted it? Because you're not speaking up for yourself. Okay. You got to speak up. You got to say these things because, and it's not about being the loudest person in the room or being obnoxious or any of that, but sometimes just saying it out loud. I literally did a YouTube vlog. I did a Get Ready With Me. I'm still struggling with being consistent over there, but the little community that I have, I love them because they are so supportive. I posted this vlog at the beginning of July, and on the vlog, I was talking about the things that I've been going through, where my head was at with Cocktales. Really and truly, I have not been having sex. I'm not holding out on you guys. And these are just the things that are going on and why I have been showing up on the show, which is where you will see me, like I have, and just having a vulnerable moment. I also talked about, outside of what I want for my personal life, what I want in my professional life. Yeah. Literally a week later, somebody emails me about this new job that I have, this new opportunity that I have. Mm-hmm. And they asked me if they said, I have a hosting opportunity for you. So I was like, okay, I'm thinking it's an event. Yeah. Not a whole nother production. And so then when we had our meeting and I was asking questions, I realized just in that initial meeting, the need that they needed. And the need that they had was somebody with my experience and my expertise. So I came back and sent them a pitch for a whole nother thing.
How about that?
And it's all working out.
And that was what you needed.
Like, yeah, and I'm like, all I have to do is say what it is that I wanted. And I've just been trying to be more vocal about things. And it helps to be more grateful every day.
What was the thing initially with Cocktales Podcast that blew you all up? What was that thing that put you out there a little bit more than what you was, to have you have the following, to do the live broadcast, to have this huge audience that's waiting for your stories? What was it? I don't
know. I think honestly, it's really been truly organic growth. We don't really have like A-list celebrities. We're not having.
You ain't got what?
Well, I mean, your episode hasn't come out yet.
Okay, this is okay.
We don't have like, big artists, and it's because of the subject. Well, part of it is some of it they don't know us, but the other part is the subject matter. They don't always make for the best guests. So we're two regular girls. No big social media following, none of that. And we are just putting out the content. So I get why sometimes people do miss the raw, unfiltered, but we was on there getting really drunk sometimes and really cutting up. So on Cocktales, we tell our cocktails, which are the stories at the end of the show, but we have cocktails. And our cocktails used to be like tequila and ice. Nothing else. Yes, we'd be drunk. There are so many episodes where when I get drunk, I get slurry.
Oh, okay.
And so that doesn't really translate well. Medina gets drunk, she gets a little bit snappier and more aggressive. And so it's funny when it's not you, but it's like, this is you. And then I'm sitting there editing it, reliving it. Those are rough moments. So I think that people love watching train wrecks.
They do.
It's just like on the highway. They look at the wreck. They do it on podcasts.
They slow down the traffic. Mm-hmm. People do. Honestly, I had people tell me that my perception on life is too positive and that it's going to take me a longer time to blow up because I'm too positive. I said,
how can you be too positive?
That's crazy. They was like, you need to talk about negative things. I'm like, I don't. I talk about stuff that's happening in the media and all that with my friends, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the girl. I don't have a Wendy Williams perspective on life. That's not the audience I want. Mm-hmm. I want more of an Ellen DeGeneres, what you see on the screen. Obviously not what she was alleged to be behind the scenes, but I want to highlight the who's in the community that's growing, that's building their community, the little kids that has a dance team and they raise money, right? But let them know that they're everyday heroes. So people will try to put on you what they want you to do. Mm-hmm. And they want you to be that way. And they'll try to keep you that way as long as they can because that's where they find that they're either better than you or they
at least I don't get that drunk.
At least I don't get that. Or I can relate to you or she's pretty, but she act like, you're like, what? All those things. You like, that's not even what I was trying to do. I was really trying to make people comfortable that sex is comfortable. You can be comfortable with sex.
Yeah, and then I got too comfortable. I was having a good time. Sometimes it does feel like we're just sitting there talking to friends, whether we have a guest or not, and then we have the drinks and stuff, and we're going down memory lane. Some of those stories way back when were in real time, and I wasn't really over it, but I was trying to force myself, so maybe I had too many shots.
And so the energy came out,
But, I can still look back and laugh at most of those times. Yeah. And I get why people they want that. And it's like, okay, I get the sense of you want it to feel like we're having fun because maybe sometimes it is too serious. And I can agree with that.
Okay.
But I told them, and I'm like, I hope y'all can respect it. I won't speak for Medina and what she's going through, but for me, I was feeling depressed, and it showed, and I'm sorry, but I hope that me sharing that lets you know that it happens to everybody. You think I have everything to be happy for, but in that moment, I felt like everything was falling apart, and I didn't know what to do or what I wanted to do, and so it can happen, and I just wish that people... Well, I hope that people continue to support people and understand that everybody, no matter what you do, are real people with real feelings. It's something I have to remind myself about other people. Because I used to love watching Wendy Williams. And I did want a career like that. But then afterwards, I was like, this is kind of too negative. I don't want to tear people down all the time.
Yeah. And to each his own. To each his own. I'm not knocking the Wendy Williams watchers or even the people who inspire, but to each his own. But I do know that sometimes now you look. Because what you throw out, it usually comes back on you, right?
I don't want to sit around gossiping about people.
Man, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I want to talk about good things. What they got going on?
Exactly. Speaking of talking about good things and great things, when you did think about, because have you ever thought about walking away from the industry?
Yes.
Okay, what kept you?
I know what I was going to do.
Okay.
And I want to update my resume. And that's just the God's honest truth. And I said, why am I giving up? Because I'm not making the money that I think I'm supposed to have.
Even though you have a lifestyle, a dog, you travel, you look good, you shop.
I'm not good at saving. I need to stay here and keep learning these lessons. I got to keep going. I'm not ready to have a whole bunch of money. I will blow it. Even knowing what I know now, I know I will. I tell myself all the time, if I win that lottery, I'm calculating in my head, okay, after taxes, first thing I want to do, I want a car. And I'm going to the dealership. I want one. I want to splurge. And that's not responsible.
No, that is responsible. If you win the Powerball, which is at 160.
But I don't want no regular car. I want a Rolls Royce.
You're getting it. You have the money. Buy that.
I hope we have a long life to live, though. What if I only win the $35 million? Then that's about half of that.
That's so crazy. I'm going to be 17.
Yeah, and I'm spending almost $1 million on a car.
I'm getting a Rolls Royce. I'm getting a house for 2.5.
I need to get a Range Rover. That's nice, luxury, and that's better than...
I got a Range Rover. That's basic.
Well, I don't. I got a Volkswagen, so I can come up.
Too. No, we're getting a Rolls Royce. You're getting a Rolls Royce. We're getting a house for like 2.5, 4 million. Yeah. We're paying all this off, right? So now we're debt free. We're investing the money. We're I'm going to run the money too a little bit. Yeah. Because I already got a couple people I'm going to make millionaires.
Who?
Definitely like my best friend, my mama, my husband, mama. That's 3. So that's 3 million gone. And then I'm getting my sorority sister, my Sands, my Chama Delta, I'm giving her 500,000. I'm giving my cousin 500,000. So that's all right. So that's what I'm saying. God, you gotta bless me because I already got money. Plans.
It's already spent in your head.
The church, I'm paying off the church. Like whatever your debt is, you're debt free. I'm paying off the church. Yeah, I'm like paying all my family debt off, right? So when I say all my family, like the people I love.
Okay.
The people who have been like rocking with me,
yeah,
I'm gonna make them debt free.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So if you owe $10,000, I'm not giving you cash. I'm just gonna take care of your debt. And then you'll be debt free.
So you got a whole do-over.
You see what I'm saying? So God, I need the money.
That is so sweet. See, you're going to win before me because let me tell you what I have planned in my head. And this is how far away I get in my head and why I decided I need to get into screenwriting. Okay. So I would have a Godfather Mafia style dinner, long table in a private room at a restaurant because none of our homes are that big. And I need everybody to dress in theme. Automatically, if you don't follow my request with your, you can't come sit at the table. Now at the table, I'm going to give everybody a plan because y'all will blow the money too. I know where I come from. Y'all got to present a plan to me, not that night, but present a plan to me and I'll pick who I'm saving and who I'm not. And the phone number will be changed after the submissions are due.
That
Isn't that so dramatic?
Mary, that is so good.
Though. I want a birdcage veil and an old nasty hat and fur.
Me. I'm gonna be there, but that's good too. So you already got like a thing.
Why do I have costumes picked out for my imaginary lottery money?
Because you already spoken that you're gonna do screenwriting. So is that next? If you could be doing anything else, what would it be?
That and so that I know that like I'm starting from ground zero.
You are in a
room
with amazing like production right now too. So screenwriting may be a thing. They just can do anything. And
I want to learn how to do it. I want to learn what the formulas are because there are formulas. I don't want everything to always have to come out my pocket, you know? And I want to learn how to do things. I want to really study that art. And I don't want to just throw things together. And I want to take my time learning different aspects of it. But I would love to do some TV series. I love Issa Rae's career. She's writing these shows. I watched it when it was Awkward Black Girl on YouTube, and I love the evolution of her career. I would love something like that for me. And something that I know that she did is learn something about everything. And I think that that's really important. No matter what your business is, it's good to know everything, because you never want to be in a position where everybody else knows.
Yeah, and you don't.
Yeah, and then it's like people can take advantage of you that way, or you might be out of luck. It's just good to know as much as you can. So I want to do that, and I plan to start. Learner. Yes, I love learning. I love learning new things. I love challenging myself.
Were you a straight A student at Howard?
Yes. Well, not at Howard. Now, Howard, it got harder. I was like, oh, it's a whole bunch of black nerds in here. This is a little different. Yeah. They're right. Everybody who came to your school is probably very much like you when it comes to schoolwork. We're going to be different in other ways. Some of those classes were hard. I took business law and accounting. 4 times each. I kept dropping it. I just, ooh. And funny enough, I do accounting for the radio station company now.
Because they had to teach you how they wanted you to count.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But those classes were hard. I ended up with like a C and a D, and then everything else was like A's and B's.
So you've always just been a scholar. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like your personality is the reason why you can, your personality and even the way you look, right? You feel like that helps you a little bit more in the industry?
Absolutely.
Okay. And why is that? Because we have to be real, right?
I think that, I won't even say personality. Sometimes it's just the way that I'm look. A lot of times men are not listening to what I have to say. Okay. Again, back to the radio station, they thought I had a degree in finance. My degree is in broadcast journalism. Did y'all forget that I came here as a personality? Y'all don't be listening.
They're not listening.
So I do think that people definitely pay attention to the looks. I can see how people treat me versus somebody where I can tell you don't like her aesthetic. And it helps, and I try to use it to my advantage as much as I can, but I don't like it, but it is what it is, and I just count my blessings on that too.
Earlier, what were we talking about earlier that I said we want to say for the podcast about the men? Dang.
Wanting to start podcast, and have they ever asked to be on the show?
Oh yeah, so earlier, thank you. Oh, shit, she's good. I asked you earlier before the cameras were on, have guests ever asked to be a co-host on your show? And what would your response?
Absolutely, and it's usually the men.
Okay, and why though? Why do they want to be on Cocktales?
They say that we need a man's perspective on these discussions. Okay. And I say no. Yeah. Because y'all can go have your own conversations while you watch the football and the rest of the sports. Go team. Y'all go do that over there. Every conversation doesn't have to be balanced. The goal of our show is to entertain. Yeah. And a bit of infotainment in there every now and then, but it's to entertain, and we're speaking to women. Men are welcome to listen to our conversations. You don't have to go through our phones. You can just watch the podcast, you know? And you can learn that way, but we don't always need a man's perspective on everything. And every man is not the same, just like all women aren't the same. So you coming on, no. And I don't really think you're going to stick around. Because I think you're probably not going to want to do it sometimes. Like, you're not even interested in podcasting. You just enjoyed coming on as a guest or accompanying a guest, and now you want to talk and get on the mic.
Because it's safe to say that people see the episodes, but they don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see the setup. They don't see the breakdown. They don't see that the air's not working and it's hot. They don't see that you haven't eaten all day. They didn't see that the wardrobe change didn't do right. They don't see the logistics of it. And then one day they just want to pop out with a podcast.
Yeah, they don't see what it's like when you go to upload it and the internet is down.
Damn.
Or somebody grateful for ads, but we get a last minute ad copy. I got to record it out of town. I don't have fiber internet out of town. I'm working with hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah. That is the worst when you're trying to upload a video that's over an hour long. And it's just like nobody thinks about those things. Or like I went to a conference earlier. On the way here, I was listening to the podcast that they sent where it's a ton of episodes just all about it's a podcast industry conference. And I'm constantly learning about this industry that I'm in. A lot of people are not trying to learn those things.
Send them to me because I want to learn them. I want to be the best. I really do like when my team send me different suggestions because I'll send them stuff like, what you think? And then they'll send it back like, no, and kind of that. I'm like, great. You know, I can intermingle and intertwine both of those things. I just want to be the best version at what I'm doing. I don't want to sit up here and waste time with people or just because we have the gift of gab or we do have favor, right? We get it. But you do want to learn. You do want to see how do I make it spicy. And it's always time. It's always chances to evolve. It's always chances to revamp.
You got to back up that favor with something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's more to many of us than what may meet the eye. And people may not know how well versed you are in something. Or just how passionate you are about something. But from learning like back-end stuff to podcasts, I'm like, you don't even listen to podcasts. Not that you have to listen to podcasts, but I do think it helps, even if you're not a regular listener, see what's out there. Podcasts are not the same as every other form of media. It's very different, and you've got to study it. And I feel like you don't have passion, and you're not about to get paid right away. So,
oh God, no.
Yeah.
But when you do get paid,
it's a blessing.
And them sponsors and them ads come in, it's a blessing. That's what we're working towards that. What is it that people would just look at you and not know at all by looking at you? Not hearing a podcast. When they see you, they wouldn't know that you what?
They wouldn't know that. Okay, I have several very nerdy qualities. One, I love playing The Sims. I am a Sims addict, and I have to like put myself in time out. I bought a desktop computer, desktop Mac, just so I could play The Sims because it was going to fry my laptop.
Savannah?
And I really be in there playing and creating these families and killing them off and cheating and doing all kinds of stuff. And it's so fun. And I just saw that they have all of these girls on YouTube and Twitch, and they're streaming. I thought that the gamers that are streaming were like playing, I don't know, the one where they're shooting guns and stealing
Call
cars.
of Duty.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto. I didn't know they was playing The Sims. I'm like, y'all could see my Sims soap opera. I got to get another computer so it has enough power because the people need to see my stream.
Oh, you about to start streaming.
Well, I want to, but it's like, girl, do you have time to do any of that?
Man,
not really.
That's why I can't
I just be talking.
Else.
But everything I do, I'm like, how can I make my money back on it? Because those games are expensive. They add up. I have every one of them. So I've spent a lot of money there. And I'm really big on history and genealogy.
Genealogy. Okay, tell me about that.
One night I stayed up and I helped a friend build his family tree. And we got to like 400 people by the morning. But I did mine, and I did all of this research. I have found different people. I found stories.
I want you to find that shit.
Okay. I love doing it. I would love to.
Yeah.
I did the DNA, so that helps. I found out I had a brother that way. I mean, I spend a lot of time on the computer, obviously. Yeah. And I just love...
You don't have time for a man.
I don't. Like, they be like, oh, you need to go do this. And I'm like...
family trees?
If you don't like to eat, because that's how you're going to get me out. Otherwise, I could be working. I have to build family trees. I have to build my family. They need a new house. Yeah. They've got a baby on the way. I've got 5 episodes of Cocktales that need to be edited, and I can't remember which one is the one where I got drunk and I said something that I most definitely need to cut out. And it's just so much. And then I've got a daughter, Whitney Beyonce Gilbert. She's a dog. She's a dog,
4-legged dog. What's her name?
Whitney Beyonce Gilbert. So the Beyonce.
That is her. That was just dead on. I'm telling you, I'll be on point with my outfits.
Her birthday was the week before last. She's born on September 4th as well. That's how she got that. And then I just decided I wanted to name her Whitney Gilbert because she's going to be a bougie black girl. And Whitney Gilbert on A Different World was a bougie black girl.
I love it. That this is your dog.
So I'm very busy. Unless you can help me with all of these tasks that I have, or you like to eat. I don't know how anybody could really stay with me. Do you want
somebody to help you? A man. Would you want a man to help you?
Does the man come without the mansplaining of everything? No. Well, this is probably going to be me and Whitley till the end.
No, it's not. You're going to be good.
No, I do. I do want to have that commitment. I do want to get over some of my own personal hangups that have nothing to do with anybody else. I can admit that I have them, I work through it.
And you're going to do it. And that's just perfect because I was going to ask you, so what's like one of the behind-the-scene moments, personal or in your industry, that you felt like you was just misunderstood?
Misunderstood.
Yeah, because
it happens so much. When is the time I was misunderstood?
Fucking crazy.
I don't know. I think
that was something that you was like, what the this shit went love.
Okay. I think that sometimes when I'm asking questions, I've been really working on it. It can come off condescending. I just be confused as to how people think like that sometimes, right? And so there was a time we were recording an episode and something happened at home. So my phone is blowing up, but we're recording, so I'm not answering it. But I'm seeing it light up because it's back-to-back calls.
Yeah.
And then something is happening during recording, and I'm trying to do my best and keep the conversation going, but I can tell that things are going left. I'm just trying to do my best as Oprah. I didn't have enough wine. It's like a happy medium between my alcohol. I had one glass of bubbly at brunch, and it's like 5 p.m. I needed another one by then, and then I was scared to drink because what I saw unfolding in front of me, it was a lot. So I felt misunderstood in still putting that out.
Yeah.
Not everything, but still putting it out. And it feeling to some or seeming to some like, oh, well, you're highlighting somebody else's moment when they weren't their best. We both have those moments. They're just different. But the underlying story there is, hey, every day is not beautiful. Every day is not great. Sometimes when you do hold things and you let it spill over, it might happen at an inopportune time. But does that mean that the world is over? Does that mean that everybody hates you? Does that mean that you can't apologize and come back? It's like, okay, I'm thinking this is something that we can turn into a bigger conversation later, not today, obviously, but later. And I ended up crying.
So wait, what did the person? Who was the person? Do you mind?
Well, it's Medina, and it's an episode that came out with a guest,
okay.
Mandy. It was an infamous episode, and that one, it was hard, but it was also like we paid a lot of money to record this episode, and we don't have enough. And I was going into surgery.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm not going to be able to edit and upload another one. I'm going to be in the hospital for a week. I had to get a little pesky bone shaved off my foot.
Okay. A little pesky bone. She's so cute.
Yeah. And then it's like, we're in the middle of touring and stuff. So that episode is still there. And it was rough in the moment, but I think that it was the thing that needed to happen to spark a lot of change between everybody. Mm-hmm. I still feel misunderstood about that, but that one is one where it's like, no matter what it is, I don't want people to feel bad forever. Sometimes you do need to sit in feeling bad. Mm-hmm. I have definitely done it. Yeah, but that's where growth comes from. When you realize everything's not okay, when you realize it, and sometimes you really have to see yourself in bad moments to do it. I got really drunk one time. And I was just a mess. Now that a mess. I mean, well, I say one time, it's been a few, but this one was really, really bad. And I just felt so bad because I felt like I was doing too much, moving around. I was about to pass out. It was just bad. I'm like, did somebody put something in my drink? Like, what
While you were podcasting?
Well, even before that.
Okay.
Because we had like a group thing with somebody that was hosting. That was it was rough. It's usually our worst moments, and the ones where we feel misunderstood are where we misunderstood our limits for the day.
That's fair. But that's good.
But it helps.
Yeah.
Because I think that had I not had moments like that and been able to see them and see how I acted, like, why would you cut up like that? Why are you being mean? You know how they say, like, drunk people always tell the truth? I be lying.
Wait, what man? The fact that you said, what would you lie about?
Anything. I think I slip off into these characters with these imaginary situations.
Funny.
So I just run with it. It's just like improv or something. And I just be saying stuff.
So you're free and when you are intoxicated, you like go into another character.
Yeah, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Or it's the life that I want, or the really bad, just
good.
Whatever the vibe is that I'm on. And it's just, to see me really drunk, it's a hoot if you can translate. But it's like, you got to play it back. You know how everybody has their opinions about how things have happened, right?
Sure.
You recant the story.
The perspective.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different perspective. But when we're all watching it, some things can't be negated. You did do that. You did say that.
Do not deny that. You did it.
Intentions might not have been there that the other person thought. And then that's where you talk about it. But you did do it. And so it's like, sometimes I do need to see, because it's like, okay, you might need to seek help, or, whatever the case may be. But all jokes aside, it's like, I hate being misunderstood on the show because I don't like fighting with people in the comments. But anytime I have a flight, I will. Because I got time on the flight.
You got time. You fly Delta, huh?
Uh-huh. I just be sitting there. I'm in the lounge. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to catch up on the comments.
Are you on your own account?
Huh?
Are you on your own account? They know it's you arguing with them.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
You're not on fake account?
I do it on my page. Yeah, you're going to see me because I'm not hiding behind it. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on whatever I said.
Yeah.
And that's just it. And I sometimes I really be wanting to go off, and that's when I have to close my phone because now I'm scrolling through your page and I'm about to talk about you, your mama, and your 3-legged dog. And that's not cool because how your mama get in?
Yeah, see, that's so crazy. And I love that about you. But you know what?
I got to reel it in.
You do have to reel it in because what happens is as you being in the forefront, they don't care about this troll that is sitting at their house like,
I'm just like, you're saying these things, and maybe some of it's true, and I just don't want to hear it, and I don't like that either. But for the trolls, sometimes I have to remind myself, hey, they're probably having a really sucky life right now. It's more about them than it is about me. They're calling me names and saying that all women are like this because they don't even get to interact with women. So they don't know.
They don't even know how a woman smells, like her natural smell.
And that is a bigger issue than you calling me any sort of name.
And keep that perspective because that'll keep your ass off of there arguing with those people.
I got too much stuff to do. My Sims need me.
So it's competitive, right? We are definitely in a competitive field. Conflicts. Have you had any conflicts with any other podcasters or any of your guests, or anybody that's in the industry? Yes. Tell us the name. Tell us what's
going on. Let me tell
y'all
y'all about this man. He's a trifling man that y'all may have seen giving horrible relationship advice on the internet, Derrick Jaxn.
Oh,
y'all remember him?
Yeah.
I think we canceled him a few times, and his wife with the bonnet and the army with this stuff. Anyway, we did an episode with him.
Really?
This was during the pandemic, too.
Okay.
First of all, he frustrated me because he was walking around the house and on a phone and doing all kind of stuff that we asked him not to do.
During the podcast?
He's all in the backyard and stuff. I guess in hindsight, maybe he didn't want his wife to hear more of his lies because she's probably like, this is not how you treat me. Yeah. But we did the episode. And during the episode, I don't know. I said, well, I rewatched it. I don't really see what I did to make him feel this way. I felt like I went into it cognizant of how some people have these preconceived ideas about me and my personality and how I'm going to show up. Maybe you watch other episodes and I will talk bad about men because men be doing me and my women wrong, you know? Yeah. And
they talk bad about us when they have a chance.
And so it's like, hey, I know everybody's not like that, but I'm going to speak up. On y'all that are. Anyway, we're doing the episode, and it was just like every time I thought I was saying something nice or laughing at a joke, I asked a question, he took it like I was trying to be shady or
take a dig at him.
Yeah, take a dig. And I was just like, And so even in the moment, because I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's been told or what he thinks or what's going on. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. No, I'm saying it like this because just to be clear.
You had to keep reassuring him the whole interview.
I'll never do that again, okay? He wore me out so bad, and that was in 2020.
Thanks.
I'll never do it again. But
he faded away after that, too, didn't he?
He did. Good. Shortly after, he shot himself in the foot with all of the things that he says and does and the lies he tells. So on the show,
exposure.
I thought that he did okay, aside from, the back and forth with me, but I thought that he did all right as far as explaining different things and saying things that maybe the women wanted to hear without trying to sound too perfect. And I told him, that's what I thought of you. I thought that you would get on the internet from your car and you're giving guys this advice and you're talking about these situations just telling women things that they want to hear.
It's unsolicited. No one asked for this. No one asked for your
Sadly, actually, a lot of women were. And I was like, free yourself. Stand up.
Like, why are you asking this man that and his woman is on live with a bonnet?
I don't know. It wasn't making sense. But
I can't even respect the whole family.
I definitely can't. I'm confused, and I do wonder if there's drugs going on there. Anyway, or lead in the paint on the walls. I don't know. Something's not right inside.
On the windowsill. That's how the kids get the lead.
Black mold.
Black mold. That's how you get
something is eating at the brains in the sense. So I told him, I thought that you were going to be one way. I'm glad that we had this conversation. It's changed my view of you a little bit, I think. I hope that you're living the way that you say you are.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. So afterwards, he said something, not to me, but it came back to me in screenshots where he was saying he didn't understand what my issue was with him. I'm a mean black girl, and I have a mean black girl attitude. And I was like, have you ever been around black girls? Because that was me trying my best to be very nice. And I really tried to come in with an open mind because I did already have an idea about you. And I didn't want to show up that way, to be fair,
It's
because
hard.
I don't want nobody to do that to me.
Yeah,
so let me do it.
are the worst. Because honestly, you meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm glad that I didn't have any perspective on you, and I'm sure you didn't have any perspective on me. So when our initial meeting, it's like, hey, what I give you is the only thing I can go by.
Exactly.
And that's what works.
Yeah.
I know someone asked me the other day, have I ever tried counseling, or do I think I need therapy because I experienced so many highs and lows in careers, things. Not nothing. They don't even know nothing personally about me. Do you think that counseling is something? Have you ever had counseling?
I have.
Have you?
But I don't know if it's when I was having my therapy sessions, the stories were getting really juicy and it felt like listening to a podcast, because I never really got no real help. And so I said, you know what? I'm not about to keep paying for this. It's just feeling like a tea party on the phone. And I'm telling you my story. And I'm like, girl, what are the tools? People say do the work. What work am I supposed to do? Because all I'm doing is doing another podcast in therapy.
I'm telling you.
And I'm paying you.
Oh, yeah. So a lady came to one of my shows and she was like, yeah, I'm a therapist and I'm a fan. I was like, yeah, you can't be a fan and my therapist. I need you not to be a fan, because I'm going to tell you some stuff that I don't want my fans to know. Okay. I want to decompress. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't want you to hear me say something later and then you think this way about me, or you think that I'm not listening to you, but you don't know where I pulled that story from. And I don't need you doing research in any other place. What other place? This goes with dating and therapy. What other place do you get to see what I'm doing at work all day?
No.
Other than anything that's entertainment. It's not fair. I don't get to go and read your diary and your journal.
Surely don't.
And I don't get to read your therapist to the therapist, your therapist notes. That's not fair. Don't be listening to all this now. I don't know. Maybe I need somebody in the country with no internet. But then how I'm going to get to them? I don't know.
You are funny. Honestly, what I'm getting from you is like a one-woman show. I feel like you could do sketch. You could do like Saturday Night Live. You could do like that type of vibe.
You think so?
Absolutely. You bounce. Hell yeah.
I'm going to sign up for some improv classes in October.
So you need to sign up for improv classes. If I could just give you that. You have your sense of humor is very dry at times, but it's so funny.
Oh, thank you.
Right? It's quick, witty dry. It ain't no boring dry. It's settled. If you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it. It's great. And I just know that a lot of times what we want for ourselves is not even the surface of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about earlier about like not even being interested in comedy and things like that. I've been laughing at you the whole time.
Oh, thank you.
And you're being dead ass serious.
I am.
And that's funny to me because what's going to happen is people are going to hear your stories. They're going to heal from it, but they're going to laugh. They may cry, but they can relate because you do have a vulnerability about you, a transparency about you that's going to connect people. So I think that is so fly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what I like about the live shows too, because you get that energy in person. We have done some at comedy clubs. I would be very nervous if I had to do all the shows like that. People really be real close. I need some space. Back up.
Close,
they're just right there, and it's like, oh, don't wear a mini skirt. They can see right up in that thing. But they're very close, and you can see the first couple of people looking at you, make me laugh. And I'm like, y'all, do y'all realize that this is laughing at my life?
Yes.
I'm not the show is comedy because my love life is a joke. That was the whole thing. Y'all are laughing too hard at this joke, and now I'm sad again.
And now I'm looking at y'all like, wait.
Well, which part y'all laughing at, him or me?
Yeah.
And yes, I was 30-something when this happened. Everybody is not on the same path. We do not grow up the same.
We didn't grow up the same.
Yeah.
I had a split household. Like, I didn't even have a dad growing up. So some of the things I experienced, and my perspective is totally different than what you may experience.
Yeah, I had a bunch of different father figures because I had my grandfather. I lived with my grandparents.
Okay.
Grandmother and grandfather. And then eventually I lived with my mom and my stepdad. And then, I mean, my dad was there, but he was kind of like I'm going to send you some money. And later I found out he feels like because I would spend time with his family, that was the same. And I was like, we'll never see things. Okay, so once we got to that point, had that conversation, okay, we're going to agree to disagree. Yeah. Can't hang on to that. But yeah, a lot of different people, but all those different people telling me what to do my whole life. I couldn't wait to be grown.
Couldn't wait to be grown.
And that's why I work so hard, so I never have to go back home.
That's so crazy. We just had this conversation that when you are an entrepreneur, right, and you have to go back to a job to sustain. Not saying that you not to help fund or be one of the streams of income, but to be your sole source of income, you like, it's like, I'm losing. I just had this freedom.
Yeah.
It may not have been financial freedom, but it was brain freedom. It was heart freedom. It was it was an artistic freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that for much is given, much is required. This is
Yeah.
not easy.
It's not.
I know I have my listeners on here. We're talking to a podcaster. We're talking to a broadcaster. We're talking to a soon-to-be screenwriter.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give? And what would you leave my listeners with? How can they just become a better version of them if they want to enter into the podcast industry, media, right? You cover all things media, editing. I mean, you even started with the recordings.
I would say that the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, why do you want to do it?
Your why.
If it's money or attention, you are going to burn out so fast unless you're just one of the lucky ones. Because the money, it might take a while for you to make some money, and everybody's not always paying attention. And then sometimes it's fun when everybody's with you, but when people are against you, that attention doesn't feel so good. Or when you feel like other people know you more than you know yourself. So if those are the main reasons, I would say look into something else. But if that's not it and you are passionate about creating, you are in whatever form that may be, or telling stories, sharing information, because every podcast is not entertainment. A lot of them are informational shows. Whatever you want to do in media, ask yourself the reason why.
Yeah.
Because you need that passion to keep you motivated to keep going. And don't look at everybody else's timelines and their paths as a measure of success for you. You need to set your own goals, and you need to really pay attention to yourself. Are you doing better than where you were? Why not? How much effort are you putting into this? Whether you want to act, do a podcast, write movies, write TV shows, you want to be a comic. Everything is an art form, and there's so much to it. It looks pretty when you see people blowing up or somebody popped out of nowhere, but you don't know the journey that people took. You don't know how many classes, how many times that they bombed, how many times that nobody liked their content, or whatever the case may be. You've got to really study whatever it is and be open to change, adjusting, and just constantly learn. You're never going to stop learning. Well, if you stop, then you're pretty close to dead, and then that's a but you got to keep it going.
That's a fact. That is good.
Thank you.
And guess what? Sometimes you hear people say things that you know. I know wholeheartedly what you're saying, but it rekindles something in it. So first of all, I can sit and talk to you all day. But that's why you're a podcaster, because people can talk to you all day, and you can too. I pray nothing but the best for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, what more can I say? Your
and
dog
I pray for the best for you,
Thank you. Yeah. I think I think we are aligned in certain areas of our energy. And that's a real thing. And so it may not be a right now thing, but paths gonna always cross and intermingle. And before you know it, we may be on the same path. Like, hey, you wanna
do this?
You wanna do this? And that's going to be good. And I look forward to that. I know y'all look forward to everything great. Make sure you tell them where to follow you.
You guys follow me on Instagram at KIKI Said So. That's KIKI SAIDSO.
She said so.
You can listen to Cocktales. It's Cocktales Dirty Discussions. Cocktales is spelled a little funny. COCKTALES. We release new episodes every Thursday. And if you follow me, you can keep up with everything that I have going on and the announcents that will be soon to come.
Yes. Listen, y'all. It's been another one. She knows the number of episodes. We gonna know the.
It's like 414 or 415, one of those. So in the coming weeks, within a month.
Within a month, I will be on Cocktales Podcast, and so this is what exchanging podcasts look like. This is what energy look like. This is what sisterhood looks like. This is what being demure, being mindful looks like. There's no competition. This is collabing.
Yes.
This is saying, I see you, you see me, and
let's
together,
let's
do something. And you too, y'all see us. So y'all stay locked in. It's Through Thick and Thin, the podcast, where we are giving you some of the most authentic, genuine, real conversations from real people doing real things. I'm super excited. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, let them know, hey, it's lit. I looked at you and got sidetracked. I said, you looking at me like this, you know. Yeah. I got sidetracked. It's real lit, okay? All right, we got to go. I'll talk to y'all later. I love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.